Ladies and gentlemen, I have some very good news for each and every one of you. Every single week, I can offer you precious metals deals. And this week's deals are incredible. We have 100-ounce bars, $1.45 over spot. Check this one out, though. This is my favorite. 90% constitutional silver, which are dimes and quarters, $3 over spot. I have preached for years upon years how junk silver is not junk. It's a piece of American history. There's only so much left in circulation. They grow a numismatic value, and it's great for trading and bartering for fractional silver instead of having to pay the premium on fractional rounds. Beautiful stuff, only $3. Plus, we have the $20 Gold Liberty, $170 over melt. But we're not done. I also can offer you American Eagles silver, $4.99 over spot, 100-ounce minimum. And no, this is not just a one-day thing. These deals are until Sunday. So we have the entire week. And then on Monday, I'll offer you new deals. So it's a beautiful thing, just like my channel. I give you guys silver videos every single day of the week. So make sure you subscribe and definitely click the bell so you immediately get notified anything important happens, which is going on right now, which we're going to cover. So let's jump straight into it. Unless you are living under a rock like Patrick Starr, or you are not a subscriber of this channel, which you should be for reasons I'm about to explain, silver's price over the last day or so has gone absolutely ballistic, insane. And when I say that, I do not mean that lightly. Look at silver's price over the weekend. They opened Sunday night, not for Americans, but that's because the day starts December 4th for others around the world. And within hours, silver shot straight up to $26 when it was sitting, mid 25, actually leading in, Friday. It was $25.40, shoots up to 26, and then immediately back down to $25.50 where it started, but all of a sudden tanks to 25. We're saying, okay, that's probably, it's probably the bottom. Then all of a sudden tanks to $24.50. Remember, we're talking about precious metals, not cryptocurrency. This is not normal. And then, okay, we bottom out, and then bam, down to 24. What in the world's happening? Well, we're going to cover that in this video from Philip Strable, Chief Market Strategist. I've covered a lot of his work before. We're going to actually review the video. I could go over the transcript, which I usually do, but I think I'm going to start covering the actual videos. I just think that's more entertaining for you guys. Instead of me just reading what he says, why not just watch him say it? Because he says some interesting stuff, and in my video yesterday, I'm talking about this crazy, volatility that silver was experiencing, but now more information is coming out. Pentagon confirms U.S. warship and commercial ships came under attack in the Red Sea. That's where the volatility starts to explode out. So you can see there's more to the story. It was very suspicious to see these prices do what they did, but now we're starting to piece the puzzle together. And this is why you got to be subscribed, because I doubt if you are not subscribed, you are going to be understanding this type of information or even be aware of it, because I don't really know anyone else that covers it in the way that I do. I'm not just being blatantly honest. I'm not trying to make myself sound. I'm just being honest. The way I cover stuff is you don't see much of it, especially how I try to connect the dots in other areas. Because everything does affect the price of silver geopolitically, politically, economically, fundamentally, everywhere. It all affects it. It's all intertwined, so I have to cover it all to connect all the dots. So let's jump into this video.
Good morning. It's Monday, December 4th, about 6 a.m. Central Time. Overnight, the precious metals are capitulating after Sunday night's blow-off top. You've got February gold unchanged at $20.89. March silver down 30 cents at $25.56. March copper down $6.75 at $3.86. And January platinum down 1 at $9.35. So a lot of volatility in the overnight session. I really think that it was the low volatility environment that was in the gold market where Friday we start to get the explosive move higher. You get the news over the weekend that the Pentagon confirms a U.S. warship and commercial ships came under attack in the Red Sea. That's where this volatility starts to explode out. So remember, it's been in a low volatility market, and now you have this vortex of volatility. So looking at U.S. Treasury yields, gold pushed to those new all-time highs on Friday because the expectations for an interest rate cut in March is about 51%. That's 25 basis point cut, and a 7.6% chance of a 50 basis point cut. Do I think that Jerome Powell will actually go through with these cuts? I think that would be a little bit too naive to think that he's all of a sudden going to turn into a dove and start to reverse the process that what they've done. Now, if the economy is truly that bad and they have to do that, why are U.S. equities marching on and pushing on substantially higher? Shouldn't they be a lot lower if these clear warning signs are there? So I think that that's something that's out there. Now, something else is that if you have those tensions in the Middle East, if you have any disruption in the oil market, oil prices are going to shoot up. That's going to push up inflation expectations. They'll have to hold those interest rate hikes much longer than expected. The dollar index will experience a short covering rally. U.S. Treasury yields will continue to go up, and that should weigh in on the precious metals. So there's something to be sought out there. Now, what was last night's move? I think it was mostly some short covering that was out there from people that were barely hanging on to the Friday session on the short, and then some renewed buyers coming into that market because of those Middle East tensions. Now, I did hear a lot of rattle that, these large commercial banks are short and they're caught with a short squeeze and blah, blah, blah. The reality is that the only people that are truly short within these major banks, and the ones that the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, the Morgan Stanleys, the ones you guys like to say are the manipulators, the short sellers, and things like that, they're actually bullish on precious metals right now. So if you look at like JP Morgan's 2024 commodity outlook, it says steady demand growth should push prices of key commodities like oil higher off their current levels. Across commodities, the only structural bullish call we hold is on gold and silver. If you look at Goldman Sachs, their 2024 outlook, it says metals outlook, better days ahead. And then they start explaining the reasons why they're structurally bullish on things like copper. If they're bullish on copper, you know that silver will follow suit with that. So don't think that these banks are the ones that are truly short. It's the mining operations. If you ran a company and your forward production, I don't care what it is, if it was bread or milk or whatever, cars, and you could sell those cars, you could hedge those forward at record high prices, of course you are going to pre-sell them. Prices might go higher from here. That's where you have the hedge in place, and that's what the markets were designed for. So now getting into the technicals here on the precious metals, what I don't like on silver, makes a higher high overnight, explosive higher high, takes out Friday's low. That's a bad sign.
So I liked this. I like this video. I'm very happy that I showed the video instead of the transcript to give it a little bit of context on how he's saying things. And I think moving forwards, I'm going to start showing videos instead of just reading the transcript. Let me know if you guys prefer that. First things, you see in the background, it says oil stockpiles in Malaysia, boom, climbing. I just thought that was funny. Obviously, America wants to go green, maybe like the G7, but everyone else across the world wants to stick with oil. They're oil-rich countries. Why they would imagine if we just cut out oil, that would be detrimental to them. And of course, they're going to want to stick with oil and not go green. But I noticed that in the background while he was talking. Now, first, I got to say this because I don't want you guys to think this is not true. JP Morgan is a corrupt bank that does suppress the price of silver. 3 of their employees got sent to prison this year for doing that. They got caught red-handed. Michael Nowak, I think, is the #1 guy. Is like he's like one of the most known, I guess, out of those 3 for manipulating. It's called spoofing, placing false buy and sell orders on these exchanges, canceling the order before it goes through. They've been caught doing this for decades now. They're looking more into it. They paid a $920 million fine to be exact, and they also had RICO charges. But regardless, JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, and the Dutch bank have all been caught. There's others, and yes, they are all bullish. That's very telling. I made a video yesterday talking about another bank that was very bullish. Citibank, Bank of America, Saxo Bank, all these banks are very bullish on silver. That doesn't mean that they aren't manipulating the price, though. I mean, these guys are getting sent to prison, not jail, prison. Where before it was a slap on the wrist. Now they're cracking down harder on this. That's a whole separate video that we could talk about, which I have. I've been covering JP Morgan's corrupt antics for a very long time now, with Jamie Dimon, the head honcho, doing, you guys watch my other videos, just type in like Silver Slayer, JP Morgan or whatever, and you'll find all the 20 plus videos I've covered on that topic. Regardless, I just want to say that first and foremost. Also, the warship thing, that is scary. And when I made the video a couple days ago about the U.S. military raiding American silver stockpiles, it makes a lot more sense now, especially if things are escalating for America in war terms. Of course, silver is heavily used in war, a lot more than I think people understand. I mean, it takes 500 ounces of silver for one Tomahawk missile. Just one, 500 ounces. Think of a monster box just getting dropped out of the sky, never to be recovered. And then we can go into the volatility. Of course, you know, silver's a very volatile market because it's much smaller than gold. But there's something interesting. He talked about Federal Chairman Jerome Powell, and he says, I think he wants, you know, he doesn't want to be the dove and turn things around. Exactly. And he made a good point. I'm not trying to disagree with him. That's a good point because it's all speculation. We're assuming. And then even after he comes out and says these numbers, that's still an assumption because they'll say we expect blah, blah, blah basis point by the year or by 2024. Okay, but that's still, he's throwing out an assumption. Then when those numbers come in, then we'll see the reality. Then the market's just to those numbers. But it's all speculation, and I hate that S word because for precious metals, it should be more off the fundamentals. And then he goes into miners. He says, screw the banks like JP Morgan, it's the miners. And yeah, mining production is still very, very low. Who is looking for silver? Nobody. They're looking for gold, lead, zinc. I mean, why would you look for silver when it's 80 times less valuable than gold? Plus, silver is a byproduct. It's found by accident. Very few silver mines. The last silver mine in Canada that tried to get up and running was protested and shut down because it contaminates the groundwater, even though silver purifies water. I know that, yes, it would still contaminate the groundwater, but it's just ironic because silver does purify water because it has antimicrobial properties. Wow, that was a long sentence. Anyways, then he goes into oil. There is a direct correlate. If you look at oil, if you want to see what silver is doing, look at oil. Just look at oil. Silver and oil move very similar. And he's talking about oil booming. Well, at the end of the day, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, which I covered, I also covered that article. Then who is the Peter Schiff from Schiff Gold made a very good article the other day that I covered. Everyone is bullish on silver. And if you're not, then you're not looking at the bigger picture. Or maybe you are, but you're looking at it from a very small perspective. And when I say small, I mean from a very short-sighted picture. Like if you say like in the next, or ending the year, perfect example, like ending the year, silver might be mid $25. Okay, but what about next year? Okay, well next year, average price maybe $26. When silver just hit $26 within a couple of hours on Sunday night, like, are you serious? And yes, that's a real prediction that I read. I could probably find it. Hold on, I could actually find it right here. This is another article talking about silver's price being all over the place. Trust me, I have article after article after article after article for you guys. Want to invest in silver? Read this. It's just kind of giving global factors push gold and silver prices. This one was written today, only hours ago. I'm talking about, guys, when I say I'll give you guys the newest, latest, most up-to-date recent information in the world of precious metals, I mean that stuff. But check this out. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. Silver price. Silver target $26 by mid-2024. Where it hit that in a couple of hours. And if you incorporate the 2024 election, which is highly, highly controversial, aka the world's going to get crazy, and not just America, the world is. And when people are fearing, fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? This type of, especially who, depending on who wins the election, precious metals are the safe haven, the go-tos. And all of this is going to affect the price of silver. And then we're talking about record-breaking supply deficits again next year, reverting back to him talking about the miners. So it's all connected. It's all interlocked. I did like what he has to say. I think there's a couple other things that I forgot that I wanted to cover on, but I do this stuff off the top of my head. I just try to remember it all. Oh yeah. Then he's talking about how it shot up and it went into overbought territory, and then that's where he ends. Because remember, this video was this was posted yesterday, so he didn't see the aftermath, which now we have. And he was exactly right, which I mentioned yesterday as well, is you never want something to go up, because then it's going to go down, 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 usually lower than where it started. And that's exactly what happened. Just on a very small scale, if you want a much larger scale, a great presentation of this in real time that you probably fell into was Bitcoin in 2016. It went from like $1,200 to like $16,000 within a couple of months, and extreme overbought territory. The price didn't stabilize, and then it collapsed, and it fell flat for years and years. It took years to recover. And now it did by a lot, but the whole point is you never want something to just go straight up like that. It's going to correct, which it is. A correction is actually the correct thing for it to do if you want the price to actually have a chance of staying up higher. But anyways, so if something's going to, anytime anything just goes straight up, expect it to go back down, especially if you're like a day trader, marginal trader. Don't just buy as soon as that thing skyrockets. You should wait for it to drop again if you missed your opportunity to buy before it did, and then it will go back up. But a lot of people, it's supposed to be buy low, sell high. Most people buy high, just pray it goes higher. That's gambling. That's not investing. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. Given the information, we tweak the odds in our favor. For gamblers, odds are terrible. So yeah. Anyways, Pentagon admitted that or publicized that warships and commercial ships got targeted in the Red Sea, and things could be escalating on that forefront, so which is kind of scary. And this could easily be a situation that pushes silver much, much higher. With it's not a great thing to say that, because given the reasons why it's going higher isn't the best scenario. So it's why we're not stacking to get rich and all this and hoping it goes higher. We're preparing because we know the inevitable is happening. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Remember, I got some deals for you guys. American Eagles, $4.99 over spot, minimum of 100. We also have the deals of 90% constitutional silver, Mercury dimes, Barber quarters, all those, $3 over spot. Then we have 100-ounce bars. I think it was $1.99 over spot, or $1.49. Sorry, I'll put up the pictures. And then we also had the $20 gold coin, which I think was $170 over melt. Sorry, I'm going off the top of my head right now, but I will pull those up and I will correct myself if I was wrong. So anyways, yeah, make sure you subscribe because I do post daily videos. Remember, buy.slayer@gmail.com if you want to take advantage of those deals or purchase anything else. We'll send you guys a price sheet. Hook you guys up. It's like buying from your friend compared to some random company online, because if, God forbid, if something were to happen, I will take care of it. And if I can't, I'll call Andy, and you could probably call Andy, and you guys can handle it. Where else do you have an opportunity to have a direct contact, a direct relationship with the owner of one of the biggest companies that has $8 billion in sales that can fill a $50 million order in 2 days, where nobody else in the world could pull that order off in 2 days, let alone at all, let alone 2 days. And you guys have a connection through that. That's incredible that I can offer you guys that. Plus, the customer service and just the safety net, the security net of not having to worry about a purchase going bad or bad communication or a scam or any of that, I can make sure that my audience that I love dearly can purchase precious metals safely, securely, and I can have a say in it. You know, it's very frustrating if someone tells me like some bad story about some company that screwed them up. Like, I'll never let that happen to you guys. Because think about it. I love you guys. So it's different of me brokering you and helping you because you're not just some random person that I don't know. I know that you're buying and you know me. You watch my videos, support me. So I'm even more inclined to make sure that you're taken care of. See what I'm saying? So it's a unique situation. I love it. It's a unique situation where it's not like, oh, you're just some random name on a screen. It's like, oh, this is one of my fans, one of my subscribers. I'm going to make sure they're taken care of, you know? So I think that's pretty cool. It literally is buying from your friend, like having a connection in an inside source where most people don't have that. Actually, nobody really has that unless you're like some well-connected person. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.